What's going on, football world? It's Carter with X's and O's, and on this video I will be discussing basic coverage rules specifically as they relate to cover one. Let's start off by drawing our offensive formation: center, guard, tackle, guard, tackle. Let's put our quarterback in shotgun. And on this video, all of our receivers will be in X's and O's yellow. I'm going to put my X on top of the numbers out there. Put my fullback in a single wing type position. Put my tailback next to my quarterback. Let's put my Y or tight end on the line out there, and let's put my Z receiver on top of the numbers over here. Let's number the receivers. If you have not watched my video discussing pre-snap numbering of offensive receivers, you may want to go back and check that out. I do believe that is the specific name of the video. You'll understand why I am putting these blue numbers on top of the receivers. In this formation, let's say the defensive huddle call was a 4-3 over cover one. In general rules and general speaking, in my system, I always like to set my strength in most cases to the three-man side of the offensive line or to the tight end side. And so over here you could see you have 1, 2 offensive linemen. Over here you have 1, 2, 3 offensive linemen. So coming out of the huddle, if it was a 4-3 over cover one, we are going to call this a right call. Right with a 4-3 over. My 5 and 1 would go away. My 3 and my 9 would go to the strong side, like so. I'd keep my will linebacker in a 53. I'd put my Mike, because this is more of a balanced formation, meaning there are 2 receivers immediately on the left side and 2 receivers immediately on the right side. This is more balanced. I would go ahead and move my Mike into a 0-5. A zero technique, 5 yards off the ball. I'd keep my Sam in a 53, responsible for that strong side C gap, and I'd roll my strong safety down. My strong safety down in a 5-by-3 alignment, meaning he's going to be 5 yards vertical of the number 2 wide receivers, 3 yards outside, so a 5-by-3 alignment. Going into our cornerbacks, if you wanted to disguise this pre-snap read, you could put a cornerback off about 7 yards. That makes it look like a cover 3. However, if you get caught in that, you might get a quarterback that calls a hot route to his receiver, and you're going to get hit with a lot of stop routes or just quick passes to the outside, quick hitches. You could get in trouble. So I would tell my cornerback to get down in this guy's face as soon as possible. More than likely that split's going to be their best wide receiver. I would tell my corner to get down in his face on inside leverage, meaning he's playing on the inside of that number 1 wide receiver and forcing things or funneling things outside towards the sideline, putting him in between the quarterback and the receiver. So inside leverage. I would do the same thing over here. Z's off the line, so it's going to be a little bit harder for this cornerback to get a jam. And then I would put my free safety somewhere back, anywhere between 12 and 15 yards. So we got 5, 10. This would be 15 right here. I'd put my free safety in the middle of the field. He needs to play. He's playing center field like a center fielder in baseball. He gets to run right or left depending on, where that quarterback is looking, opening up, that type of thing. But he's playing center field. He needs to be the man back there, that one high free safety. Let's talk about coverage rules, and then we'll do an example and then close out the video. Let's talk about will responsibilities. Will linebacker. He is responsible for, let me draw that equal sign. You guys are probably wondering what that is. His responsibilities equal, or he is responsible for the weak side number 2 receiver. In this case, that is the fullback in that single wing type look out there. The Mike and the Sam share responsibilities and have to read each other and talk to each other and communicate who number 3 is. On one of my earlier videos, I told you I often like to have Mike key or read the number 3 for run. Oftentimes he is responsible for number 3 in the passing game. But Mike and Sam, their rule is to have the number 3 receiver to their side. To their side, or they're responsible for the threatened hook. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about more here in a minute with that. So they're going to have number 3 to their side or the hook. Let's talk about the strong safety. The strong safety, I always put him in as a $sign. Alright, the safety, he is responsible for the strong number 2. So him and Will just have reverse responsibilities. The strong number 2, in this case, the strong number 2 on the strong side is the Y or the tight end. Let's go down to the corners. The corners on either side, the corners are responsible for number 1 to their side. Number 1 to their side. And so you can see the number 1 wide receiver on either side is the X and the 1 in this formation. Now, if they did something like, if the offense came out in something like twins where the X and the Z were together, you may have a different coverage rule to where, you know, the 2 corners find the best 2 receivers, which X and Z probably are going to be the best receivers, and then have everybody else fall in line with their rules. But most of the time it's the number 1 wide receiver to their side unless you put in a special coverage rule. Again, these are basic coverage rules for cover 1. And then our final player responsible for coverage responsibilities is the free safety. He is the reason why this is called a cover 1. He is our only safety support. He has a very big responsibility. He is our only safety support. Again, he gets to play center field. He needs to stay over top of all the routes. I'm going to box him in red, and I'm also going to make the reference up to the title up here. There is one high free safety or one high safety for safety support. Therefore, you have a cover 1. That's where you get the name cover 1. One high free safety for safety support, or one high safety for safety support. Let's have some fun. Let's start drawing some passing routes. Let's say we get a 5-yard in from number 1. It is the cornerback's responsibility to stay on top of number 1, stay on top of that route, and follow that route wherever it may go. Hopefully making good play on the ball. Weak side number 2. Let's say the fullback does a little swing route there. Will Linebacker is responsible for the weak side number 2. He needs to stay on top of that route there. Let's go to the other side. Let's go to the strong side number 1. Let's say Z press is vertical. Let's say Z press is vertical. The cornerback on that side, again, this is man-to-man. He is man-to-man on number 1 to his side. He needs to stay on top of that route. The number 2 on the strong side, let's say the Y just presses vertical. Let's say the Y presses vertical down that seam or inside the seam. The strong safety is responsible to stay on top of the strong side number 2. So strong safety has to stay on top of that route. And this is where it gets tricky. So all of our number 1 wide receivers and all of our number 2 receivers are taken care of. If you look again down here, when we talk about the Mike and the Sam, they either have number 3 to their side or the hook. Let's say in the backfield, the tailback and the quarterback execute some type of zone read type action where the tailback crosses the face of the quarterback and runs out, and let's say he does some type of swing route or wheel route over here. Because the number 3 wide receiver exits to the Sam side, Sam is responsible for number 3 to his side. And so Sam has to stay on top of that route. That leaves Mike responsible for the threatened hook. So this all has to be, after the snap, this all has to be recognized by Sam and Mike, and they have to have good instincts. Down and distance is going to play a big part of that. The formation is going to be a big key. Maybe alignment is going to be a big key to see where players go, tendencies. There's tons of stuff that'll go into it. But now, because Sam is running with number 3, Mike is responsible for the hook, or the threatened hook. The only threatened hook, and if you watch my underneath zone video, and if you haven't, you're going to want to go back and identify this, but the threatened hook right now is, the threatened hook is right here. This is the right hook, and it is being threatened by Y, or the tight end. And so Mike needs to drop. He can drop in here, and he can leverage that number 2. He can help out on number 2, so we can basically bracket that. Mike is going to be inside leverage of number 2, that wide receiver, or that Y wide receiver, and the strong safety is going to be outside leverage. So we can bracket that. We're protecting the heart of our defense, or the middle of the defense. So we can kind of treat that as 2-on-1 right there. All right, on the Y receiver, and then our safety, our free safety, is going to play center field. At the snap of the ball, he's staying over the top of all routes. And there's only 2 vertical routes, and so depending on how that quarterback plays it and where he puts that ball, that free safety might have to help on the top of number 2 here. He might have to help on the top of that vertical, or he might have to run all the way over the top on a good angle and get over the top and help that cornerback on number 1. But he is that one high free safety. There's only 2 vertical routes pressing, so he's going to have to figure out, who he's going to have to help, the safety or the cornerback. But Mike is helping in that threatened hook, that right hook, because Y is running up the middle of the field. These are the basic coverage rules for cover 1, and there's always tweaks that you can make. Some of the benefits of running a cover 1 is, again, you can disguise a cover 3, and also you can potentially create an 8-man box if you like the way that strong safety plays. If that strong safety hits like a linebacker but can run fast and cover, he pretty much can act like another outside linebacker and help you out in the box. So some different reasons why you may want to run a cover 1. As always, I hope this video has expanded your knowledge of the game, whether you are a player, a coach, or a fan. Hopefully it'll help you get more enjoyment and understanding out of the game of football. Please like the video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. More videos to come. If you'd like to see something on a video, mention it in the comment section of this video, or email me at xzandos.cs@gmail.com, and we'll see you on the next video.